Exodus chapter 22, verses 1 through 31, KJV. Today, we continue our journey through the book of Exodus, turning to chapter 22, verses 1 through 31. This passage is part of what is often called the Covenant Code, given by God to Israel after the giving of the Ten Commandments. To fully understand this chapter, we must remember the broader context. Israel has just been delivered from slavery in Egypt. They are no longer a people under Pharaoh, but a people under God. The Lord is now shaping them into a holy nation, a kingdom of priests. These laws are not merely legal instructions, they are spiritual formation. They reveal the heart of God and teach His people how to live in covenant relationship with Him and with one another. Let us begin. 1. Restitution and justice, verses 1 through 15. The chapter opens with laws concerning theft and restitution. If a man steals an ox or a sheep and slaughters or sells it, he must repay 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. Why such a heavy penalty? In the Hebrew mindset, justice is not merely punishment, it is restoration. The Hebrew concept here reflects shalom, a restoration of order and wholeness. Theft disrupts community harmony, so restitution restores it. God is teaching that sin always has consequences, not only spiritually but socially. When something is taken, something must be restored, often more than what was lost. From a spiritual perspective, this points to a deeper truth. Sin creates a debt that humanity cannot repay on its own. Ultimately, this prepares the way for understanding the need for redemption. There are also instructions regarding negligence. If someone causes loss through carelessness, they are responsible. This teaches accountability. In God's kingdom, we are not only responsible for what we do intentionally, but also for what we neglect. 2. Social responsibility and compassion, verses 16 through 27. The next section shifts toward social ethics relationships, protection of the vulnerable, and moral responsibility. If a man seduces a virgin, he must take responsibility and marry her. This law emphasizes honor, responsibility, and the protection of dignity. Then God gives strong commands regarding the vulnerable. Do not mistreat a stranger. Do not afflict a widow or orphan. Why does God emphasize this so strongly? Because Israel was once a stranger in Egypt. The Hebrew word for stranger, ger, carries the idea of someone who is vulnerable and without protection. God reminds His people, you know what it feels like. This reveals the heart of God. He is a defender of the weak. His justice is not cold or mechanical, it is deeply compassionate. If the people oppress the vulnerable, God says He Himself will hear their cry. This shows that God is personally involved in justice. He is not distant, He listens, He responds. Spiritually, this teaches us that true faith is not only about worship, but about how we treat others, especially those who cannot repay us. 3. Reverence for God in daily life, verses 28 through 31. The final section speaks about honoring God. Do not revile God or curse a ruler. Offer the first fruits to God. Consecrate your sons and livestock. This reveals a principle: God is to be honored in every aspect of life. Giving the first fruits means trusting God with the first and best, not the leftovers. It is an act of faith, acknowledging that everything comes from Him. The instruction about being a holy people and not eating torn meat reflects separation. Holiness means being set apart, living differently because we belong to God. Deeper spiritual meaning. When we step back and look at Exodus 22 as a whole, we see something profound. These laws are not random. They form a picture of God's character. He is just requiring restitution. He is compassionate, protecting the weak. He is holy, calling His people to be set apart. The ultimate question is, why did God give these laws? Because He desires relationship. The law reveals His standards, but also our inability to fully meet them. This points us toward the need for grace. In the New Testament perspective, we see that these principles are fulfilled in love. Jesus summarized the law as loving God and loving others. Exodus 22 shows us what that love looks like in practical life. Application for today. Even today, these principles remain powerful. Take responsibility for your actions. Restore what has been broken. Care for the vulnerable. Honor God in everything. In a world where justice is often partial and compassion is selective, God calls us to a higher standard, a reflection of His own heart. As believers, we are not just called to know these truths, but to live them. Let us ask ourselves, are we restoring what we have broken? Are we showing compassion to those in need? Are we honoring God with our lives? Through this passage, God is not just giving laws, He is inviting us into a transformed way of living. May we understand His heart more deeply and walk in His ways. Thank you.